board members? Now I have a motion.
I move that we accept the agenda.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we need the approval of minutes.
Madam President, I move to approve the March 11th, 2019 workshop minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Madam President, I move to approve the March 13th, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. And Madam President, I move to approve the March 18th, 2019 special meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. The next thing today is the consent agenda. Nick?
Good morning, President Preiner, Board Managers. This morning, we have 3 permits with Caprock items for your consideration. We do have 2 adjustments I'd like to share with the board. The first of which will be on page 16 of your packet in regards to Engineers Report 18125. So on page 16, as I noted, under exhibits, we'd like to add Exhibit 6, which you can see on your screen there is the WACA Conservation Act Notice of Decision, utility exemption dated 3/19/2019, and then noticed 3/20/2019. And then further down the page, under item 3 on wetlands, final line noting utility exemption delegated decision, signed notice of decision 3/19/2019, and email notice completed 3/21/2019.
Okay. Any questions on this permit, anybody? Any other changes, Nick?
Yep. And then moving to page 22 of the packet. I'm sorry, page 23. For Engineers Report 19-020. Coming up. There it is on your screen under Finding 2 for Stormwater. 4th line down, partway in, is a correction of the existing impervious area. Strike 1.7 and change to 0.66.
Okay.
That's all the corrections that staff have.
Okay, that's all the question. Any questions for Nick? If not, we'll need a motion for the consent agenda.
Madam President, I'll move the consent agenda with applications number 18-125, number 19-017, and number 19-20.
With corrections.
Second corrections, yes, thank you.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Madam President, I point out that with the Stillwater Road one, that that's a project which the district is also lending in. We have some grant money that goes to the city of Willerny there, along with Matamidi, so we're also a player in that, a total cooperation.
Okay. Anything else? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Open mic, seeing nobody in the audience, we'll move on to items requiring board action. Lauren?
Good morning, President Preiner, Board of Managers. For your consideration today is the City of Hugo's inspection and administrative procedures. This document starts on page 27 in your packets. City of Hugo assumes sole permitting authority for the district rules C, E, F, and Wetland Conservation Act LGU duties in 2004. the district's rules and requirements have changed. Requirements for communities wishing to assume permitting authority have changed since 2004, and so the city of Hugo had to meet additional requirements. For the city to continue its permitting role, Hugo only needed to complete 4 steps, which are on this slide here. They needed to complete an approved local water plan which incorporates level 2 requirements, and this has been completed. The board has approved their local water plan. They approved it you guys approved it last year, July 25th, by resolution 2018-19. The second step for the city was to update their ordinances to be as stringent as the district's rules, or to adopt the district's rules by reference. City of Hugo has completed this. The city council adopted the district's rules C, D, E, and F by reference on February 4th of this year. The third step for the city was to execute an updated memorandum of understanding, or MOU, with the district that conforms materially to the draft MOU that was attached to resolution 2018-19. This was also completed by the city. City council approved the MOU on February 4th of this year, and they executed the MOU. So the MOU just needs district signature. And the fourth step was to provide inspection administrative procedures that are necessary to ensure full regulatory standards of the district are met. And this has also been completed by the city of Hugo and is for your consideration today. The district staff and the city have agreed upon the written procedures that are found on page 27 in your packets. So the final steps for the city to continue its permitting role are district approval of the city's inspection administrative procedures and district execution of the MOU. Staff recommends approval of the City of Hugo's inspection administrative procedures, and there's a recommended motion on page 26.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Any questions? If not, we'll have a motion.
Well, Madam, I'll move to approve the City of Hugo's inspection and administrative procedures as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The second item for your consideration today is the City of Scandia's local water plan. In your packets, you'll find, starting on page 35, the draft resolution, the executive summary on page 37, the city's identified issues starting on page 38, and the city's CIP table on page 41. The City of Scandia submitted their local water plan to all agencies for formal agency review on June 28th of last year. The district reviewed for consistency with the district's watershed management plan and Minnesota Rules 8410 and Minnesota Statute 103B 235. And the district and Met Council both submitted comments on this plan. The city's final draft submitted to the district on March 18th of this year sufficiently addresses all comments, and it's now consistent with district and state requirements. The majority of the city's water resource issues and solutions are within the Carnelian Marine St. Croix Watershed District and the Comfort Lake Forest Lake Watershed District. There's a very small portion of the city, of the city within the Rice Creek Watershed District boundary. Here on this slide is a map of the sub-watersheds. Ours is in orange. So you can see that we essentially only have White Rock Lake and some of the land surrounding White Rock Lake. The city has identified existing water quality issues, especially related to impaired waters within the city that do include White Rock Lake. White Rock Lake is impaired for nutrients, and it does not currently have a TMDL. To address this issue, the city has updated its erosion control and stormwater ordinances and development code, and the city will support the district's efforts to study White Rock Lake and improve the water quality at White Rock Lake. However, no projects have been identified by the district or the city for this plan cycle, and this is also reflected on page 41 in the city CIP table. To conclude, staff find that the City of Scandia's plan is consistent with the district and state requirements. Staff are recommending approval of the City of Scandia's local water plan as submitted to the district on March 18th of this year. Any questions for me?
Any questions? Okay, we'll need a resolution 2019-09 on page 36.
Madam President, I move resolution 2019-09 relating to approval of Scandia Local Water Management Plan.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? There'll be a roll call. Waller?
Yes.
Hockey absent. Bradley?
Yes.
Wakeman?
Yes.
Reiner, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Houston.
Board President, Board of Managers, starting on page 43 of your packet, you'll find a cover letter as well as a 5362 main trunk repair report task order from Houston Engineering. In 2013, the board approved a historic review memo for 5362, reestablishing the as constructed subsequently improved condition for ACD 5362, based on the input from managers that had prioritized these repairs for 5362 main trunk for completion, for anticipated planned completion of 21 or 2022. Please find attached for the board's consideration Houston Task Order 1907 for development of the repair report for ACD 5362 main trunk. The estimated total cost as identified in the repair in the task order is for $48,400. This has been included in the board-approved 2019 budget. Staff recommends approval of the Houston request for services for a total of $48,400 as defined in task order 1907 dated March 5, 2019.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any questions? Need a motion?
Madam President, I'll move that we approve Houston Engineering's Task Force Order 2019-07 ACD 5362 main trunk repair report for a total cost of $48,400 as defined in the scope of services dated March 5th, 2019, and authorize the board president to execute the document.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Check register?
Madam President, I move to approve the check register dated March 27th, 2019, in the amount of $247,339.45, prepared by Redpath and Company.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Staff reports. Anybody comments? If not, we'll go to the calendar.
Board Presidents, Board of Managers, just a couple of reminders. This afternoon, obviously, 1 o'clock at the library across the parking lot is the Technical Advisory Committee City County Partner Meeting for Chapter 4, which is the implementation, draft implementation chapter for the water plan. Of course, also, the next water planning workshop of the board for Chapters 5 and 6 discussion is after the next regularly scheduled board meeting, which is April 10th. It'll be, we'll pull out the tables here and have it right in this room as soon as we're done with the board meeting.
Anybody else?
Madam President, I believe I have the advisory committee next month.
Yes, you do.
On the 3rd.
On the 3rd.
And I'll also be at the Washington County Consortium meeting earlier in the day.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? If not, we'll go managers' updates. Manager Waller.
Well, yesterday I received a message from Brian Husfeld, he's a dairy farmer in Forest Lake on ditch number 5, it's around 200. Tom Schmidt also talked to me about it, and I've had a chat here with the administrator Belfori this morning, and really what the problem has been there for 20 years is the last 100 feet of this 22-inch pipe has been broken, and then they filled it in and plugged. So it's a wonderful to go up to his farm, and his beautiful cattle. There's also just a tremendous amount of swans and wild geese up there this year. But his frustration, of course, is to make that system work. So we're talking about the last 100 to 150 feet of the actual pipe for the entire system, which comes from Forest Lake. I think they call that 200 or County Road 50 up there. By Salverta's Buffalo
Salverta's.
Farm, and and all the way down there, it goes in there. So that's a fairly large dairy farm they have there. So I know that 20 years ago, I was back in there when we were looking for the bulkheads to prove the depth of the ditch. And we found the bulkhead broken laying there. We found pieces of the 22-inch tile laying on top of the ground. And we could see where it was filled in and plugged. So I think, I hope the district, we can do something about at least opening up that last 100 feet there and cleaning out the dirt that's in front of this 22-inch tile. And as we work, I know we found the records for this because this was a branch when it was originally built and then turned into a tile system in, I think, 1920 or so. So, and that's when it became an independent ditch system 5, or connected to a system of 2. So anyways, he was concerned about coming to the meeting today and having a chat with us, and I said I'd bring his message here, and that I've done, I hope. So we'll work on this, and I'm sure the staff will find a way that we can at least provide some relief for that entire system, because that last 100 feet is blocked.
Board President, Manager Waller, yes, and as we discussed, my recommendation would be, given that Mr. Schmidt is not here, he's very aware of the situation. I know he had a conversation with both myself and Manager Waller yesterday after receiving this concern. So at a future workshop, I would think it would be appropriate to have Tom give some background on this information and advise the board on his recommendation based on his technical review in the field.
Do you think he'd be prepared for that at our first workshop in April?
I'll check with his availability.
Okay, because I'm sure that's something they want to move forward on.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Manager Bradley,
No, nothing.
Manager Wagman.
Nothing?
And I have nothing new. So with that, we can ask for an adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.